Do you think Nigel Farage is a racist?
He appeals to racists. Is he racist? I'm going to say he's a bit of a racist.
So, okay, well, you can't, you can't be a bit of a racist. You're either racist or you're not. Whether you're a bit of a racist or a lot of a racist, you're still a racist. So you're saying he is a racist. In your opinion, you think he's a racist. And that's fine, that's your opinion. That is completely your opinion. But I think
I tell you what's worse than a racist is appealing to a racist and racist deniers. I think that's even worse.
That is mental.
If you're going on a Tommy Robinson Unite the Kingdom march, let's just repeat that. Tommy Robinson. You know what you're going for. Home Office staff will tell you they are majority genuine seekers.
No, let's address that first.
Even if they're economic.
Let's address that first.
No, I'm not addressing it. I'm not. I've done it.
Typical far
There's
lefty.
Not.
Typical far lefty.
No, because you keep saying about
when I produce facts to you, it's
no.
What I feel. Hello, I'm JJ Anisiobi, and welcome to a very special Christmas edition of the Daily Expresso, where I'm joined by broadcaster, social commentator, political firebrand, and friend, Narinder Kaur.
Oh, you said friend. Yeah,
Added it in.
Friends.
Yeah, we'll edit that out afterwards.
I'm so privileged to be here at the Daily Expresso.
Yeah, we don't normally have
the mugs with the Daily Express.
Yeah, listen, we're working on it. Budget.
Yeah,
lazy staff. We're working on
it.
We don't normally have people like you on here.
I know, but you should have more people, because otherwise it's just everyone agreeing with each other and it's really boring.
Oh, listen, my hands are pretty much full with the people we have on this show. But listen, I've reached out to some lefties.
Oh, okay. And they said no.
Your friend, Zach Polanski, he said no.
I'll have a word with Zach.
He's running scared. Yeah, tell Zach to come on.
He's not scared. We'll have a word with Zach.
Have a word with Zach.
Because he's lovely.
Yeah?
So lovely.
Well, we'd love to have him on. Starmer, he's also running scared from us. In fact, every Labour person we've invited on has said, "Oh no, we're too busy." I think they are scared that we're going to grill them too hard.
No, but it's you though.
Yeah, you're not a serious political person, JJ.
No, but you're safe. You're like a safe space, and people feel comfortable. It's not as if you're going to be horrible.
Exactly.
Well, you better not be.
I'm going to be horrible to you. Let's start with this one. You are a reality TV star.
Yeah,
that's where you started. Big Brother.
Yeah, Big Brother.
Series 2.
2001, 25 years ago. I was in Big Brother. And I had the tag constantly of reality TV, reject, reality TV.
Yeah, so how did you end up...
That took me years to get rid of that.
So how did you end up being in politics and current affairs now?
I think then, you kind of grew up, I had babies, got married, blah, blah, blah. And then I think you change as you get older. You do get more into politics. You really get more into politics. And then, you're on Twitter and then you're on there and you're seeing it all and it's affecting your life. You realise that the taxes, it affects your life. And it's like suddenly it matters and voting matters and politicians matter and your life in this country matters.
Okay. You are one of Nigel Farage's most vocal critics, I would say, Narinder.
Yeah, I know.
What is it you don't like about him? Is it his personality? Is it his political agenda?
The whole Nigel Farage thing really, it's a bit of Stockholm syndrome. There's a bit of...
You're obsessed with him?
No, I'm not obsessed. The whole country's obsessed with him. Mainstream media is absolutely obsessed with him. Daily Express is obsessed with him. And I'd say if the whole country's obsessed with him, then obviously I'm going to talk about him because we will talk about whoever is trending and he is that person. Now, I've actually met him a few times, several times actually, been on his show, at least 3 or 4 times back in the day. And he's all right. I'm not going to lie.
You like him?
I've been on his show and
Do you like him?
I wouldn't say I really liked him. Like, oh my God, I want to go out for a drink with him. But I'd say he was pleasant. He's polite and he was welcoming. And I think anybody, if you go to their show, trust me and you've been there, and you're like, hang on a minute, you're not a very nice person. You haven't really welcomed me. You haven't made me feel comfortable. He's good at that. So I can't knock him.
So you can see why a lot of the country support him.
Yeah, and I can see, when he went on Celebrity Jungle, I said he's going to be in the top 3. I knew it because I knew he'd be able to win people over. And he's all right. But, and it's a massive but, his background, including his school days, and we've got 20 friends have come forward now. 20, not 1, not 2.
20 friends.
20, is it 21 now?
Who have said what? That he was a racist?
So many things have come forward. I mean, there's a whole list.
Do you think Nigel Farage is a racist?
I don't think he's a hardcore racist, but he definitely wants to appeal to racists.
Listen,
he wants to. That's his thing.
Appealing to racists and being a racist is not the same thing.
No, I think it's pretty much the same thing. You can't. How's it different?
Because there's politicians.
Shabana
Mahmood. Yeah.
Mahmood.
Mahmood. Yeah. Shabana Mahmood. Thanks for correcting me.
Yeah.
She is not a racist. But are there racists in this country who'll be saying, I like her, I like what she says, I like what she stands for.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
there's two different things.
I'm saying, but Nigel, this is okay. Let's talk about Shabana Mahmood in a bit. But Nigel Farage, since he's been on the scene, his whole thing is anti-immigrant. Standing in front of that, it was at the 2016 poster with about 100 brown men behind him. It's an invasion. This is the problem. They're a problem. He appeals to racists. Is he racist? I'm going to say he's a bit of a racist.
So, okay, well, you can't you can't be a bit of a racist. You're either racist or you're not. Whether you're a bit of a racist or a lot of a racist, you're still a racist. So you're saying he is a racist. In your opinion, you think he's a racist. And that's fine, that's your opinion. That is completely your opinion. But I think I
tell you what's worse than a racist is appealing to a racist and racist deniers. I think that's even worse.
That is mental.
I don't know. Yes, I've worked it all out because on my ex and the abuse I get, I obviously get racist. I almost don't mind them. I don't know what that is. It's almost like, okay, I'm used to that. The ones I really mind are racist deniers. Oh, they're the worst. And also you're appealing to racists, and that is the Reform Party. Without a shadow of a doubt, if you vote Reform, and I will stand by this, I said this back in the day when they formed, this is for racists, this party's for racists. How you can sit, I can see what you're doing. You're going, and people do this, oh God, how can you say that? How can you not say that? How many Reform councillors, how many? I was actually on the tube trying to do my research quickly. I would be here an hour talking about how many Reform councillors have been fired or suspended for racism.
But then doesn't that...
that means they're racist. They appeal to racists. That's what that means.
Well,
JJ.
listen. Certainly, there are people who are drawn to Reform who are racist. But the fact you're saying that there's been councillors who are Reform who have been fired because they're racist, wouldn't that suggest then that Reform, the people who actually running Reform, are saying, no, you're a racist, we don't want you as part of Reform?
No, not at all, and I'll tell you why.
Wait, let me finish.
Not fired,
let me finish.
Suspended.
Okay, let me finish. It's not as if Farage and co are saying, oh, you are a racist. We didn't know that before. You should come and run for Reform. Because what you're saying is they're finding out people are racist and they're being suspended from the party.
No, and I'll tell you why. No, they have to be suspended because they've been outed. It's gone out in the public. So they can't exactly accept it. And I'll tell
Labour have accepted racists in their party.
Lee Anderson was suspended or fired from the Tory party because he said that Sadiq Khan...
Suspended, yeah.
Yeah, because he said that it's been controlled by Islam. That's it. Mm-hmm. You've got Sarah Pochin, who said that she was sick of seeing black and brown people on TV, and Nigel Farage didn't even condemn it. He just said it was a bit, whatever. You've got, he invited, this is a thing for me, they invited as a guest of honour at the Reform conference, Lucy Connolly, convicted racist, handed her a mic and said, here you go, love, and gave her a nice warm welcome and hug. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to spend my life telling people, oh, Reform are racist. No, they're not. Reform are racist. No, they're not. They just are. Can we not just accept it? Can we not just say, look, okay.
It is not my job either way. I'm just the interviewer. But
I think your listeners, your viewers are going to be very upset today. I hope I don't ruin their Christmas.
Do you think there are people who support Reform who aren't racist? They just support Reform?
Nah, not at all.
So you think every Reform supporter is a racist?
Well, there's people in my own community, and this is where it gets a bit blurred.
There are people in your community.
Yeah, there is people in my community.
You mean, and by community, you mean Asian people?
Yeah, Sikh.
There's Sikh. Oh, okay.
There's a bit of a difference.
Okay.
And I tell you why the Sikhs are going there. And I've actually broken friends. I've actually broken friends with people who voted Reform.
With Sikh people?
Yeah, my 2 Sikh friends, and he rang me about a year ago. We've not spoken since. I kind of miss him a little bit. And it was all over Reform.
But you can't miss him. He's a racist. You hate racists.
Well, no. So he rings and he's blah, blah, blah. And he goes, anyway, I've been looking at Reform and I don't mind what they say. This is what I call the gatekeepers in my community. So a bit like the Shabana Mahmoods, where we came here, we came legally, we're all right, but them over there, oh no, they came on a boat, we can't stand them. And that's their own people. There's Indians who've come over who weren't given legal routes. And yet they're pulling the ladder up. So people in my own community, and remember, in the Sikh community, there's a bit of a problem because they've had historical Islamophobia, and I mean hundreds and hundreds of years ago when there was the Sikh gurus, our gurus, fought with with Muslim kings, and the Sikhs, this is a historical problem, a religious problem. So they've got this thing going on with Muslims. So they'll go over to reform, thinking, now which party is going to be a bit Islamophobic?
Okay, so what about the Muslims then? What about Muslims who actually think, yeah, it's right that people come here through legal routes, and our parents and our grandparents came here via legal routes, and it's not fair now that some people are not coming via legal routes. Because listen, and I'm just
why is it not?
I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Okay, I think a lot of people are seeing the hotels or the RAF bases now, the ex-army barracks filled with men. Wait. Let me finish. But what they're seeing are videos of footage of young men, right? They're not seeing video footage of women and children. They're and yes, there's no doubt there are women and children coming across on these small boats. Absolutely. And there's no doubt a lot of people who are coming are fleeing persecution. They're fleeing certain death. But let's not be naive and think that there's not people who are just thinking, well, actually, yeah, I do want to go and have a better life in the UK. And there's a system set up over there that is going to allow me to go over there and have a better life. So I'm going to say, I've lost my passport. I'm going to say, I'm 15 years old. They're going to use every trick they can to come here.
Well, okay, there's
and for me, last point on this. For me, it's more.
You said a lot there.
To be fair, I did.
God.
And for me, I think it's important that we weed out the people who are acting in bad faith, so that the actual women and children can come to this country who actually are genuine asylum seekers.
Okay, there's so much to unpack there. Much. I've even forgotten the first bit you said. Okay, so the top of my head. So the first thing is when you're saying, oh, it's all. What the mainstream media in this country and politicians, and I include Labour in that, by the way, what they're guilty of is manufacturing this problem that asylum seekers and small boats are a massive problem. It's not a massive problem. They're showing you footage of young men coming over, when in actual fact, Home Office figures will tell you that it is young men, because men will come forward first, and I'll tell you that bit in a moment, because my own uncles did. But secondly, women and children are here. The statistics will show you that.
Yeah, we know they are.
Secondly, majority of them are found to be genuine. The majority.
On appeal.
On
appeal, yeah, on appeal.
No. Home Office stats, let me finish, are telling us the majority are genuine. Now, let's just for your argument.
On appeal, yes.
What does that mean?
It means that they are turned down at the first instance. They then go via a different legal route, and on appeal they get through. Which is yes, that is the case. Which is different to other countries like Denmark, for example, where they don't have a judicial board of corrupt judges who are judging these things.
Oh my God, this isn't corrupt judges. Come on.
It is. There's definitely.
Come on.
I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but there's definitely a left leaning there.
Because I'm not going to. Well, we don't know. We don't know that.
Well, we do know.
The stats are telling us whether it's appeal or not. The majority are genuine. Secondly,
on appeal.
Actually, you're going to keep saying on appeal. They're still genuine.
On appeal.
So you either trust the judicial system or you
don't. I don't.
Right.
I don't.
Okay. Well, I do. I've got full faith in the judicial system and our courts and judges. Right. The second thing is my dad and uncles came over in the 60s, early 60s, granddad in the late 50s. They had legal routes because guess what? This country that colonised and attacked the entire world had to get brown people and black people over and to make Britain great again. They colonised their countries, attacked their countries, raped, pillaged their entire countries, and said, guess what? We want you over in our country now to help build our country, and we're going to charge you tax for the pleasure of that as well.
Yeah.
So they were given legal routes, a bit like giving the Ukrainians legal routes, because guess what? You won't see one Ukrainian on those small boats. So men will come first. My dad, uncles, 10 of them came over, and even back then they said, oh, look at them all coming over on the plane. It's
Absolutely.
the same old argument, the same old thing. Look at them looking at our women, look at them doing this, look at that. When all the whilst, all my dad was doing double shifts in the steel foundries, double shift after double shift after double shift. And guess what? Mum and my brother came over 5 years later when he could get a house. It's the same situation.
Sorry, no, wait. Sorry, was your father fleeing persecution?
No, but
no.
Came over the economic migrant.
Yeah.
So we're all right with that then. Because guess what? This country needs workers.
Wait. No, but you're comparing and
JJ's not going to win.
You're comparing and conflating two different things.
How?
Okay, because look.
Because it didn't suit your argument.
No. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this much. I'm lucky that I've been born in this country and I've never had to flee persecution.
Yeah.
If tomorrow this country gets attacked by Russia and China. And I have to flee.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving my wife and child behind and saying, I'm going to go to America, I'm going to set up life over there, and after 3 or 4 years, I'll bring you over next time. No, I would not leave without my wife and child. I would rather.
Well, my dad left my mum.
Your mum and dad were not fleeing persecution.
In poverty.
Yes, but
that
is not the same as persecution. That is not the same as persecution.
But then.
So I'm saying you're comparing apples and pears.
You are, because you're comparing the 50s when World War II had just finished. Everything had just finished, so the world was calmer. But there was poverty.
There's still poverty. There's still poverty. People still go to Dubai. Taxi drivers in Dubai are all men. They're fleeing poorer countries, but they're not fleeing persecution in those countries, not fleeing death.
You don't know, they could be fleeing.
I do know because I lived there for 4 years, and that was my job, speaking to them, interviewing people. So I do know.
Either way.
No, not either way. No,
the Home Office staff
not either way.
They are majority
not either way.
genuine seekers.
No, let's address that first.
Even if they're economic.
Let's address that first.
No, I'm not
let's
addressing it. I'm not.
Well, this is typical far
There's
lefty.
not.
Typical far lefty.
No, because you keep
when
saying
I produce facts to you, it's no. What I feel.
I didn't say what I feel. I didn't want to say that.
But that is what you're saying.
I'm saying the majority of the Home Office stats will show you that the majority are genuine asylum seekers. Now, we've got to stop saying illegal immigrants as well. We have to stop saying that, because they're not illegal. They're only illegal if they've outstayed their visa.
Right, let's move on. You have promised to leave Britain if Nigel Farage wins the next general election. Yeah. You're going to make a lot of people very happy with that statement. Not me, of course.
They shouldn't be happy, because immigrants make this country. I'm not an immigrant.
You're not an immigrant?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is my parents were immigrants. Uh-huh. Now, this is the other thing. I'm sick and tired. I am fed up. Immigrants. That's all I've heard. You know the budget that happened? All I heard on TV and radio the whole 2-3 weeks of the run-up, immigrants, my tax says immigrants, I don't want to go. Immigrants make this country. If reform come into power and they get their way and deport all these immigrants that have come over that shouldn't be here, legal immigrants, the NHS would collapse. This country would be on its knees. You know what I did? Put a tweet out saying, all black and brown people in this country need to go on strike. I'm calling it a strike. Strike and show them what would this country be without immigrants. Nothing. They wouldn't survive a day without immigrants in this country. You wouldn't. The economy would have collapsed. So they talk about immigrants, they're a burden on us. Actually, immigrants are a net profit to this country. We bring money into this country. We work hard. My parents worked hard. I'm sure your parents worked hard too.
Of course my parents did.
And now you're going to say that little line. But they're different these days. They don't work hard.
No. That's not what I was going to say. What I was going to say was, with your point of argument here, is that you are not doing a differentiation between immigrants who are coming here and are able to work, and the ones who are coming on the small boats who, by law, are not allowed to work. So that is a drain.
So let them work.
No, but wait. But you said immigrants coming here are a positive thing for the country.
The economy, they're a net benefit.
No. But then this is what I'm saying, that the ones who are here I know it's by our laws that whilst you're applying for time you can't work, but you can't say that people who are paying $5.5 million a day for accommodation that is not a net positive for the economy.
Are you actually blaming?
No, but I'm just saying facts. Narinder, just go off facts. If we're paying $5.5 million a day, how is
work?
No.
Once they can work, this country doesn't have enough. JJ, the country doesn't have a big enough working age population. We've got a massive aging population, and that want these triple lock pensions. They want a pension. We're entitled to it. We paid our national insurance. Who's gonna pay for it? And guess what? Once they're processed, it's not their fault, and you admit that. They're not allowed to work. Once they are processed, again, the processing is so slow that they're stuck in the system. Do you think they want to be sat in a hotel, in a grubby little 2-star hotel? Do you think they want to be sat there, 5 or 6 in a room, with no one they love, stripped away from everything, and they're not even allowed to work? They're desperate to work, which is a damn sight more than the ones on benefits who are British born here, sat on their benefits, waiting to collect their little check and go in the corner shop. We had a corner shop for 50 years. Guess what? As soon as they got that check, 60 fags and 4 cans of lager and 3 bottles of wine for £10, please. And 5 scratch cards with their benefits money. You're telling me?
Have you ever been into one of these hotels that are housing?
I was outside one.
Have you ever been inside one? I as a journalist, I've been.
And you're going to tell me it was like
no. Listen. I'll say, as a journalist, I've been into 4 of them.
Right.
3 in London, 1 just outside Birmingham.
Right.
There's one of them is next to where I live.
Yeah.
In Old Street. I think one actually in Old Street is the biggest one in the whole country in terms of how many people are there. They're not. I wouldn't say they're 2-star hotels. I'm not saying they're living a life of luxury, but what they are having is free accommodation, which listen, just hear me out. They have free accommodation. Some of them are provided with 3 meals a day. The ones who aren't provided with 3 meals a day are given money per week to go and buy their own food.
What's £8 a day, week or something, doesn't it?
It's something like £8 a day.
Something
like £8 a day.
You try and eat off that.
No, listen. I couldn't live off that because I'm also paying for a child. I'm also paying bills. I'm also paying to travel to work. I'm paying to commute. All that stuff. But what I'm saying is, I don't understand how you can't see the view from people. And you can't see the view from people that wait, let me finish. Linda, listen. I don't understand how you can't see the view from some people who are saying, actually, I'm working 45 hours a week, and so is my partner, and our 2 kids. We'd love to have 3 or 4 kids. We can't afford to. We can't get a council house. And granted, the council house is not being given to the people coming on the dinghies.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not being given to them.
Yeah.
But what we are seeing is this 100 men living in this hotel, and they're not able to work, granted, but they're also just hanging around, and they're being given free accommodation. And can you not see why that would? Some people would look at that and say, "Well, that isn't fair." Well, actually, then why should I bother working? Why don't I just sign up on the dole and get free money like everyone else then?
No, I don't. I can't see it. I don't even. You even painting that massive big picture and doing all of that. It just meant nothing to me, and I'll tell you why. Me and my husband work damn hard, and we've been given nothing on a plate, nothing. We've had to work for everything. My husband is taxed to shit, yeah? We're happy for our taxes to go on people who've got less than us. This isn't their fault. As soon as they can work, they want to work. You bring that up and you accept it, but then you come in with everything else. They want to work. They don't want to be all in this hotel. They want to work. Now, when people are getting upset with them, you know what I say? It's cliche, it's corny. Don't, punch down, punch up. It's the billionaires. I'm so sick. And you seem to have been bought in by this. Everyone's bought in by, they're the problem. Those little people who've got nothing are the problem for every societal ill. They're not. The problem in this country is we're not taxing the wealthy, the extremely wealthy, the billionaires. They need taxing. They're getting, do you know how much that would bring into the pot of money? The problem here is, and this is where reform voters, they just don't want that money going to brown or black people, because there's enough in this country who are economically inactive, British born, economically inactive. I feel sorry for the working class. I come from working class. I come from immigrant working class. I know what that's like, where you are not looked after in this country, but it is not the fault of those people arriving on the small boats. It's just such an easy excuse.
No.
And it's people who just aren't educated enough, or just keeping fed this image of they're the problem. They're not the problem.
No. Okay, so again, but let me go back to my point, because what I'm saying and what you're explaining from that are 2 different things. I'm not saying that Bill and Jenny, British-born, white family, 2 kids, live in a cancer state, they're not looking at the migrants and saying it's their fault. But what they're doing is saying to the government, before we take care of other people who have come here and aren't allowed to be here because they've not come through their passports, they've thrown their passports in the sea. Before we look after those people, help us first because we're struggling. I'm saying to you, wait. What I'm saying to you is, they're thinking that is what people are thinking. So they're not. Of course, I think people are educated enough to know.
I think they've just been fed something. I think plenty of people are educated enough to know it's not their fault, it's the government's fault. But we've been voting for the governments every time we vote for them, and they say we're going to stop it, and nothing gets stopped. So now people are saying, well, actually, let's vote for Nigel Farage because he is different. He appears different to what we've had for the last 15, 16 years. So that's it. So I don't think so. Your point about saying, you're blaming the immigrants? No, not at all. Not at all. It sounds like that.
No.
And these are the Farage. You know why the boats happened? They happened after Brexit. Ththese are, and who called it? Was it Starmer? They're called the Farage boats. It should be. They are a direct result of not having returns agreements.
It's
and you know what? Conveniently,
it's actually,
tell you what's happening here and what's happening in the country.
You're incorrect there. That's not the sole thing. Actually, the biggest factor that increased migration, illegal migration on small boats, was Colonel Gaddafi being killed in Libya. He controlled those routes before. He stopped them. And he stopped them. He was a brutal person, of course.
Well, that was like Saddam Hussein.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he was like, he could whip them and keep them his way. Brutal regimes.
Terrible brutal regimes, but that's why those areas were controlled. Now, That's where it begins. Between Libya and Italy, that is where the most traffic comes from.
And the other thing is, you've got to remember, there's just people just conveniently don't want to remember these facts. They just want to. They just don't. Honestly, the people who keep going on about and they're reform voters, they just don't want brown or black people here. That's the issue here. It's as simple as that. There's nothing more to it. It's not about the hotels, because they were happy for Ukrainians to come over. They were happy for them to come and stay, and don't say, oh, well, they've returned. They actually haven't returned. So, but no one talks about the Ukrainians. How many came over? 370,000 Ukrainians? I don't know, actually. I think it's something like that. No one talks about the Ukrainians. Why? Are they working? Are they doing everything here? Are they
were able to work.
Right, there you go.
But because they didn't come in the country.
They didn't need.
Wait. They didn't come in illegally. But you're comparing legal
because
migration.
Because they were given legal routes.
Yeah, but so were people from Hong Kong.
They were given a visa. Yeah, and they were given a visa like this.
Yes.
Visas like this. So this country is very capable of giving a visa like this. But they won't for the countries that actually they've had bomb or arm. And then those countries, look what they did in Afghanistan. Oh my God!
And the UK resettled several.
And then they stopped the deal. They then stopped the deal.
They stopped the deal, but they did resettle several thousand Afghans.
Oh wow!
To the
but
UK.
Not the other 100,000 that actually helped this country and were actually going to be killed by Taliban. They decided, okay, we've done enough now.
No,
come on, that's treacherous.
No. That's incorrect.
No, that's you honestly Google
they
it.
Did.
Can we fact check this?
They did.
No,
they did move people across, and that and the government covered it up. The government covered it up, and then when it came out, that actually I think it was under Robert Jenrick when he was in government. He one of the people who signed off this billions of pounds that we'd spent to move everyone off because we'd leaked their names. So the government did do the right thing in that case. They did it. And again, with the
Afghan return, with the Ukrainians, they stopped that.
They gave the Ukrainians a safe route to come.
Yes.
With the premise of them going back to Ukraine when
the
war was over.
And we all have the Ukrainian flags up. Talking of the flags.
The war is not over yet in Russia and Ukraine. It's not, we can't send them back to Ukraine.
Well, the war's not over in half the countries that this country has had bomb or sell arms to.
Pakistan.
We could talk about that all day long.
We can. Pakistan has the most asylum claims in the UK than any other country in the world. It's Pakistan. There's no war.
Do you know
Britain? There's no war there.
Britain takes the least amount in Europe. Germany, Italy, they take more. Britain
we don't take the least in Europe.
Because all I ever hear is...
We can't have this debate if you're going to use false facts.
That's not. We take the least. That was released recently.
Okay.
Germany, Italy, Turkey takes the absolute most.
Luxembourg, Liechtenstein.
Luxembourg, I mean in terms of the bigger countries here. I'm talking Germany, France, Italy.
You got to specify.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the tiny... I'm talking about the bigger countries. Britain takes the least.
Turkey is also nearer to where most of these people are coming from, so that makes sense.
Turkey, yeah, well, exactly. So they do, because they'll argue, why don't they go to their neighbouring? They do.
80% of refugees do stay within two countries, regardless. We're going in circles. You talked about flags, so let's go on to that. You're uncomfortable with the Union flag? You're uncomfortable with the St. George flag?
The flag one just makes me... It's hilarious because I'll send you a little clip that you can edit it in, because I went to the Pride of Britain Awards, everyone's got the flags and we're loving it. And with the kids there, we're all flying their flags and it's beautiful. Uh-huh. We love flying the flag when there's a football event or a sporting event, and when there's like a Pride of Britain, we love it because that's the honest, good reasons. But this raising of the colours, you will never, ever try and even convince me, no one can, that this is about Pride of Britain. It is not. There's a sinister reason for flying those flags, and the person behind raising the colours, you only have to look at his colourful past to see what he's all about. And those communities that those flags have gone up, and I've got so many friends who message me who live in those communities, they're making brown and black people feel scared. They're even making, actually, did you see the video of the elderly white man?
Yep, asked him to not do it and he got threatened by them.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I think those flags going up, they're not for pride. They're not for anything like that. They're just to intimidate. And that's actually quite sad.
Do you think it would have been different if, for the last 70 years, we'd have had the Union flag and the St. George flag flying from our institutions? If every hospital, every church hall, every school, every state school, every government building had the flag flying, I think it would be a different attitude to the flag.
You mean that if they'd had that flying all the time, that people would be more tolerant to it, or more? Well,
it seems odd to say we should be tolerant of.
No,
what is our flag.
Sorry, that word was wrong. But
that is essentially it. I think people would be more accepting of it.
No, they are accepting, because if you looked at London and Sadiq Khan, and it was over the summer for the V-Day celebration.
V-Day celebration.
Oh my God, the flag was everywhere, and no one had a problem. We were all happy. The whole of London was covered in those flags, in the Union Jack.
For VE Day.
VE Day, sorry.
But
VE Day.
But when it's not a special event, the flag should be flown, right? Because if you go, like, I mean...
Well,
again,
aren't they? Isn't the flag flown above government buildings? It is, isn't it?
Not all
no
of them.
one has a problem. I think I've seen them.
Well, you talked about...
Even in Newcastle, when I grew up there was always a flag.
You talked about Ukraine earlier.
Yeah.
As soon as the Ukraine was in war with Russia, everywhere was putting up Ukrainian flags. Yeah. And it was buildings being lit up blue and yellow to signify that we're united with them.
Well, that's what happened with that then.
Well, that's it.
Exactly. People got a little bit fed up.
People move on.
Right.
But, when I lived in the Middle East...
Yeah.
There's a whole beach in Dubai called Flag Beach, and it's just a beach filled with UAE flags. And there's National Flag Day, and everyone goes out and waves the flag. But that's
not making ethnic minorities feel uncomfortable.
No, but this is my point. And the UAE is a very young country.
Yeah.
So my point is, if we had the Union flag flying everywhere all the time, not just for special events, not just for football, which essentially is the biggest thing in this country.
Yes.
If it's just everywhere, you'd get people just be like, oh yeah, it's a flag, rather than it being a case of no one flies the flag except for true patriots. And now,
I get what you're saying. No, I understand what you're saying. Like normalise having it everywhere. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. But this isn't about that, though, is it? The people behind raising of the colours and the people who are doing it and how it's making people feel. It's not about that. They've actually created more division. And I think that's a problem going on in this country right now. Is that I've never personally, I don't know about you. And I've seen, I'm born in 1972, so the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, we've always seen a rise of the far right. We've always seen this. It's always comes, especially when a Labour government come in power. And then it always gets squashed down. And you have that little bit of a, my husband saw all of the, the National Front. He got beaten up back in the day when he was like 12 years old. We've all had them kind of stories, but this time it just doesn't seem to be going away. It's there. It's not getting squashed. And I think social media has such a big part, misinformation and just this algorithm and politicians. Robert Jenrick, what he said in Handsworth, outrageous. Like it's not just reform. Listen, hands up. I'm not here to say this is just reform. Even Starmer and the Island of Strangers speech. Come on. Shabana Mahmood with her recent immigration policies. Outrageous. And, the fact that Reform put out a tweet saying, come and join us, and they had her, sitting on the bed with the Reform flag, they went wrong. Reform went wrong. It's like they're all trying to reform. I know we've heard that before.
How do you feel about the government saying that they're looking to Denmark to copy their model? Yeah,
I saw that.
And I think Denmark is a left-leaning government. It's a mixture of different parties, but it's a left-leaning government. My grandmother is Danish. My Danish friends and family say that when they look at the UK, they think that our left-leaning people have more in common with their far-right people.
Really? Like how?
In the sense that the extreme blind belief in the ideology. So, for example, we talked at the top of the show about immigration, and I'm saying to you, can you not even see from other people's point of view that actually this might be how they feel? And you're like, nope. That's what they're saying is like, it's almost like you're brainwashed. Both sides.
I see. So you're saying I'm being so radicalised left side.
Yeah.
And they're saying that actually that's how the right think.
Yeah.
Okay, so my daughter's doing politics and she'll say often, Mum, what she's learned is that you have to listen to what people are saying. What are their concerns?
Yeah.
But then it's like I'm actually...
And then we don't dispel them. Like, we can disagree with Mahmoud. Am I saying that correctly?
Mahmoud. Well, I think, look... I think there's lots of nuances where we could say, actually, I can understand what you're saying there. For example, pensions. We could argue about that. And you could say, well, hang on, they have contributed their whole life and they've worked and they work since they were 15.
Yeah.
Actually, I see where you mean. I can listen. And we could talk about, I don't know, income tax. Okay, I see what you mean. There's lots where we can think, I can see where they're coming from.
But when it comes to
immigration... It's not like I can't listen and I can't hear and I can't feel it. But I just feel that the whole immigration asylum seekers is all wrapped up in racism, and you will not change my mind about that. And it's a bit like the people who joined the Tommy Robinson Unite the Kingdom March.
What, you didn't like that?
Are you telling me? Actually, I was actually upset with Nicola Thorpe about this, and I love Nicola Thorpe. I was actually upset. She goes, people like, not just her, many of them all went along there.
We should probably explain who Nicola Thorpe is. Nicola Thorpe is a friend, mutual friend of ours.
Yeah, lovely.
She's very left-leaning, and recently... she went out to the marches, to unite the Kingdom marches and those kind of things, to speak to the other side, to listen to them. And I for one, think that was a good thing.
Yeah, we had a bit of a row about that as well,
we had a little bit of a row.
A little bit of a row.
I thought it was a good thing, her going and listening to the other side. And funny, when she posted those clips on social media, all the comments are from left-leaning people calling her out, saying, how dare you give them a platform? What are you doing? Yada,
exactly,
yada, yada.
that's how I felt.
And that is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
My Danish friends and family say about the left in this country.
Yeah.
You're so brainwashed and indoctrinated in, no, this is how it's got to be. And if you disagree with us, you're wrong and you're going to go to jail and you should be put away. It's like, that doesn't help either side. So I am neither left nor right. I am centrist.
I actually think I'm more
centrist
sides. Because I didn't believe in lockdowns. I don't believe in giving the pensions, triple up pension and all this and the other. I'm a centrist. I get in the middle somewhere. But going back to the Tommy Robinson thing and Nicola, who I loved, and a little bit of love was lost, I have to say, because I thought, if you're going on a Tommy Robinson Unite the Kingdom march, let's just repeat that. Tommy Robinson, you know what you're going for. You're not going there because, well, I've just got a little bit of concern and I'm going to go and support Tommy. No, you know what you're going for. It's a bit like saying, well, I don't support Hitler, but there's a little bit agree with him, but it doesn't mean I support that. I'm sorry.
She wasn't there to support Tom Robinson.
She wasn't there, but you are still giving people a platform. One guy did it right. He was a YouTuber. I forget his name now, but he went there in a disguise and he really got them talking and the racism just was spilling out. And he did it right. He gave them a platform to expose that you are actually racist. Nicola and people.
Nico is the name of
that's it. Yes,
YouTuber.
That's it.
Yeah.
He did it correctly. That was there you go. Exposed. You expose what they're really there for because all their racism came out. But Nicola's there going, people like Nicola, not just Nicola, there was a lot. Oh, tell us about your concerns. Oh, really? Oh, you're on a Tommy Robinson march. If you have got out of your bed, got on a train, spent 100 quid on that train, and God knows what else, to march behind Tommy Robinson, I don't want to hear your reasons. You've got no reasons. You kind of made your bed there, and that's fine. By the way, this is the important thing to say. If that is your thing, you are entitled to that. Look, we're a free country. You're entitled to that. If you want to support Nigel Farage and all his policies, and you want to march behind Tommy Robinson, listen, be my guest.
So listen, I understand your point, but then this comes back to my thing about the nuance of, do you not think it's likely? I don't know. They claim there's like 1 million people on that march. I don't think there was quite that many. But if there's 100,000 people on that march, do you not think it's naive of you to think that actually some people on that march, they don't care that it's Tom Robinson and they disagree with most stuff he says, but there are one or two things that he says that they agree with. And in the same way, those few people who agree with one or two things that he says that aren't radical, they're just things that they believe in. Those same people also look at the Green Party and they say, a lot of the stuff the Green Party say is too radical for me. I don't believe in net zero. But actually, there's a couple of good things the Green Party say that actually I can get behind.
They wouldn't join them if there's a couple of things.
But they could go, they could go on a march for it.
No, so I was on the counter march on the same day as the Unite the Kingdom march, and there was people there, they didn't love Labour. In fact, they were the same kind of swearing about Starmer as with the Tommy Robinson law. There were lots of people very unhappy on our march.
So there's a crossover.
So yeah, there was a crossover. But what they didn't do was join a Tommy Robinson march. They were very unhappy with lots of things in the country, so many things. In fact, it was like, oh my God, they were like really swearing about Starmer. But the thing is, they didn't join a Tommy Robinson march. I can't allow any excuses. What I will allow is, we're a free country, go on what you want to go on. But then your card is marked. It's marked. And going back to the Zach Polanski thing, yeah, actually, because it's really hard for someone like me who's lifelong Labour supporter. I'm still like my fingers hovering above the join. Do I join Green? Do I join Green? Because if you've supported Labour your entire life, like you just have this kind of like no matter what wrong they might do, you still make an excuse for it. You know, even when Starmer did the Island of Strangers,
well, then you're brainwashed.
I was making excuses. Well, okay, he was just advised badly. Okay, he was just this, and you make excuses, but then you start realizing actually there's no more excuses. And Zach Polanski, oh my God, I think he's like the New York Zoran Mamdani. I think he gives that kind of hope, just like people see hope in Nigel Farage. And look, and like you said, can you not see that? I can see that because we're entitled. You're entitled. If they see Nigel Farage as the hero, great. But then there's people like me who see Zach and think actually he's talking my language.
You've spoken to Zach Polanski.
Yeah, I met him.
Yeah. Would you become an MP for the Greens?
I'm thinking about it.
Wow.
I am actually thinking about getting into politics.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I'm just a little bit too a bit of a what do you call it?
Naive.
No, not naive. God, no, definitely not naive. Liability. Probably.
Well, I think all your bad things are out there already. I think.
Yeah, the bad things
all
are
your
out
skeletons
there.
are out. I think.
Yeah,
you're good.
mine are. That's a thing.
Yeah.
The skeletons are out. You can't get me on any of that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and going to talking of skeletons, and well, we did talk about this, but this is an important thing to say when people say it was Nigel Farage and the school thing. Look, I'll admit this. We all said and did things. Maybe we all said and did things at school. That, oh my God, what are you bringing up when I was 12 years old? The thing is, there was a lot of people, and his policies have continued on that route. So, for example, if it came out about Zach Polanski, he was a racist at school and he was making hissing sounds and gas chamber sounds like sss, people would be like, oh my God. But the difference with that one, with Nigel, it's not a surprise, but it's carried on throughout his entire life. With Zach, at least you could say, if it came out about him, because I heard Nigel Farage say, oh, well, no one else is scrutinised as much as me. But if it came out about Zach, the difference would be he's changed. He's saying, actually, I might have made those mistakes when I was a kid, hands up. But actually, I'm changing myself and I've changed my whole views. I've learned. Nigel Farage hasn't said that.
I mean, Zach Polanski is Jewish, so I'd be very surprised if it came
sorry,
about him.
Yeah.
Look, you have worked in TV for, 30 years now?
25.
Oh, it looks like you've been working much longer than that.
No, but the Botox, it needs doing. The Botox.
Talk to me about TV people. All these people we see you arguing with and talking with on TV. Who are the people you like? Who are the ones you actually get on with off camera?
This is the thing. This is really weird. But actually, the more right-wing ones, off camera, we get on so well.
Like who?
Andrea Jenkins, had such a laugh with her in the green room.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, had a laugh. But on camera, I couldn't believe sometimes I'm sat there thinking, what have you just said?
Yeah.
But in the green room, and this is what I mean, you can meet people and there's so much there's so much common ground.
Uh-huh.
So me and Andrea talk about kids. Belinda DeLucy, I look at her tweets sometimes, and I'm sure she looks at mine, and we're like, "Oh my God, Belinda, did you just? What are you saying?" But in the green room, we're talking about dresses, makeup, kids.
Yeah.
Oh my God, her daughter's doing history, my son's doing history, her daughter's doing law, so we're talking away, and it's always the more right
So
I really get on with.
What does that tell you? What does that tell you then, Narinder?
Yeah, but then they're saying that about me too.
Yeah, I know. That's
Right.
the thing about you too, exactly.
Yeah.
So what does it tell you that in this political world where we're forced to be, you must be left, you must be right.
Yeah, no, you
and
don't.
you're saying you get on better.
Not better.
Off camera, you get on very well with those who are from the right side of things.
I can't think of anyone that. Yeah, I do.
So
I get on really well. Jacob Rees-Mogg really had a good time with. Really had a laugh.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's so many. Name some other ones. There's so many I get on with.
Whitening, Carol Malone.
Okay.
Listen, Carol's the queen around here.
Yeah, no, but yeah. I tried. Like I was in the green room with her a couple of weeks ago, and I think it was just before bonfire night. It was the debate was about fireworks, and we both sat there, and it was hard, but it wasn't horrible.
Okay.
It was not. It was hard.
So
but it wasn't horrible.
who don't you get along with? And I imagine it's mostly people from the left.
Actually, as Jeremy Vine said, Narinder gets on with everyone. I actually get on with everyone in that green room. We have such a laugh.
You're a liar. You're a liar. I know at least.
Who do I not get on
I know at
with?
least 3 names. I'm not going to say them, so I'm going to put you on the spot. But I know at least 3 names who are left that you do not get along with. That you do not. And I'll be honest.
Really? Who?
I'll be honest.
Who?
The microphone's going to pick it up.
Oh, sorry.
It's going to pick it up.
I'm doing this.
But I think there is.
There is a few that I would probably think.
I think there's a pomposity and arrogance about so many on the left about having the moral high ground. Oh, you think this? Well, you're terrible. How dare you? You know the reason I started being in politics is because I was sick as a working class boy. I was sick of seeing non-working class people from privileged backgrounds who'd never been on the class set in their lives, going on TV and talking on our behalf.
Yeah, same.
That's what got
Definitely.
me into it.
Oh, look,
yeah.
we've got something
Some
in common again. Yeah, but I think the point I was trying to make about the right wing, your Andrea Jenkins, Belinda DeLucy, all of them, is actually, and I've always said this on my Twitter, but people don't listen. There's so much common ground. Look at Trump and Zoran Mamdani. Look how well they got on. Yeah. There's always common ground, and actually, that's the Christmas message. Find common ground. Find a Muslim neighbour, a brown neighbour, a black neighbour. Knock on their door and say, hello, what about a little Christmas drink or a whatever? And
Yes,
and
knock on a Muslim's door and say, how about a Christmas drink?
A cup of tea.
Whiskey.
You know, my Muslim friends drink schlur or alcohol-free wine.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
do. They love a little alcohol-free wine.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, just knock on someone's door that you wouldn't normally talk to.
Yeah.
And if I can do it in the green room, if I can get on with these hard right, far right, right-wing politic people, then you can. We all can get on. Honestly, everyone's got common ground.
Narinder Kaur.
Season of goodwill toward all men.
Well, we could talk all day, but time to go back home, celebrate and chill with family. Thank you for watching and Happy New Year from all of us at the Daily Expresso. Bye-bye.